So, welcome to the B&C Podcast. Again, alone for this one, and thanks for always catching up with us to learn a few things about being a better man. I'm your host, Mzee. Now, once upon a time, there lived a German philosopher called Arthur Schopenhauer. He he wrote a number of books and shared wisdom about a lot of things. He lived from 1788 to 1860. So today, as I was doing some research on Google, I found this interesting information. He at one time shared 38 ways to win an argument, and that information is as relevant as it was. It is relevant today as it was those days when he raised that information. So these stratagems are excerpts from the Art of Controversy, which was first translated in 1896. So I'm going to read for you some of these ways. You never know. These days we're always in arguments on social media when you're with friends. There's always something to talk about. So I feel like this is something you can always employ in your conversations, in your discussions. So I'm going to share with you some of these tips. I'm going to do it in a series. They are in total 38. So today I'm going to share 15. The next day I'll share maybe 10, because some are short, some are longer. So maybe I'll do it in 2 parts or 3 parts. So today I'm going to do 15 of them. The first one is carry your opponent's proposition beyond its natural limits. Exaggerate it. The more general your opponent's statement becomes, the more objections you can find against it. The more restricted and narrow his or her propositions remain, the easier they are to defend by him or her. Then number two, use different meanings of your opponent's words to refute his or her, his or her argument. Then number three, ignore your opponent's proposition, which was intended to refer to a particular thing. Rather understand it in some quite different sense and then refute it. Attack something different than that which was asserted. Yeah, I actually didn't take time to go through them, and I feel like some of them need a deeper explanation, but I'm on a bit of a rush, so I guess next time I'll try to do a little bit of explaining. But today some are quite actually straightforward, so you can figure it out on your own. Then number four, hide your conclusion from your opponent till the end. Mingle your premises here and there in your talk. Get your opponent to agree to them in no definite order. By this circuitous route, you conceal your game until you have obtained all the admissions that are necessary to reach your goal. Then number five, use your opponent's briefs against him. If the opponent refuses to accept your premises, use his own premises to your advantage. Number six, another plan is to confuse the issue by changing the opponent's words or what he or she seeks to prove. Number seven, state your proposition and show the truth of it by asking the opponent many questions. By asking many wide-reaching questions at once, you may hide what you want to get admitted. Then you quickly propound the argument resulting from the opponent's admissions. Then number eight, make your opponent angry. An angry person is less capable of using judgment or perceiving where his or her advantage lies. Number nine, use your opponent's answers to your questions to reach different or even opposite conclusions. Number 10, if your opponent answers all your questions negatively and refuses to grant any points, ask him or her to consider opposite of your premises. This may confuse the opponent as to which point you actually seek them to concede. Number 11, if the opponent grants you the truth of some of your premises, refrain from asking him or her to agree with your conclusion. Later introduce your conclusion as a settled and admitted fact. Your opponent may come to believe that your conclusion was admitted. Number 12, if the argument turns upon your general ideas with no particular names, you must use language or a metaphor that is favorable in your position. Number 13, to make your opponent accept a proposition, you must give him or her an opposite counter proposition as well. If the contract is glaring, the opponent will accept your proposition to avoid being paradoxical. Yeah, so those are 13 so far. I hope I'm being helpful, and you can't wait to have your next discussion and nail it. Then number 14, try to bluff your opponent if he or she answered several of your questions without the answers turning out in favor of your conclusion. Advance your conclusion triumphantly. Even if it does not follow, if your opponent is so shy or stupid, and you yourself possess a great deal of impudence and a good voice, the trick may easily succeed. I think I should read this again. Try to bluff your opponent. If he or she has answered several of your questions without the answers turning out in favor of your conclusion, advance your conclusion triumphantly, even if it does not follow. If your opponent is shy or stupid and you yourself possess a great deal of impudence and a good voice, the trick may easily succeed. Then number 15, if you wish to advance a proposition that is difficult to prove, put it aside for the moment. Instead, submit for your opponent's acceptance or rejection some true proposition. Although you wish to draw your proof from it, should the opponent reject it because he or she suspects a trick, you can obtain your triumph by showing how absurd the opponent is to reject a true proposition. Should the opponent accept it, you should now have reason on your own for the moment. You can either try to prove your original proposition or maintain that your original proposition is proved by what the opponent accepted. For this, an extreme degree of impudence is required. Well, those are the 15 I'll read for today. But as you know, sometimes it's not worth it engaging in this argument, especially on social media. Some people just need to ignore. Don't always have to participate in anyone that draws you into aimless arguments. Sometimes if you feel like someone is knowledgeable enough, you can always participate, but if you feel like it's a waste of time, ignore them, ignore people. Just if you have facts, deliver them, let them decide on whether they are going to take them on or remain as ignorant as they were. So thanks for watching this. Subscribe, comment, like the video, and you guys know the more reactions we get on our videos, the more YouTube positions us well for the algorithm, and we perform better as our channel grows. We also get motivated to push out good content. Thank you so much. Bye.